What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Seems like I haven't talked to you guys in an edited video in a while, but we are back to discuss a few different things here, and one of them could be revolutionary to the future of Nintendo and their hybrid devices, technology, and what they do to stay competitive in the graphics department going forward. So I want to give a big shout out to DocTrey81. I watched a video on his about this new Nvidia DLSS 2.0 technology that is probably going to be in the next Nintendo Switch, the Switch 2, next generational Nintendo Switch, whatever you want to call it. Now, in this video, DocTrey detailed a LinkedIn finding, which, man, he always goes through these LinkedIn posts in terms of what people are being hired for and when they're working on certain games and stuff like that. And there was a post on there in terms of somebody who was working on the new DLSS technology in the consoles. So that, to me, and kind of to him as well, kind of pointed out like, hey, that technology consoles, it looks like Nintendo is gearing up for something. Now you combine that posting also with Nintendo spending $800 million in R&D recently, and yeah, it does seem like Nintendo is hard at work with Nvidia on their next generation Switch device or next generation device. I don't think this is a Nintendo Switch Pro or small step up above. I think this is their next generation system. I don't think we're going to see a Switch Pro. I think we're going to see a Switch 2 when it comes down to it. But what is DLSS 2.0? What type of technology is this? Well, according to Nvidia, we're going to read off what they have to say here. And of course, you guys are going to be seeing some video here. This is pretty groundbreaking tech that can put Nintendo in terms of the issues that Nintendo's had, right? I don't think it's going to be like PlayStation 5 or whatever the case is. Obviously, it's not going to be like native type of 4K stuff or 8K or whatever the case is, but it is going to fix a lot of the issues that plague the Nintendo Switch with low resolution in terms of some games. So here's what Nvidia had to say about Nvidia DLSS 2.0, a big leap in AI rendering. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing gaming, from in-game physics and animation simulation to real-time rendering and AI-assisted broadcasting features. With deep learning super sampling, DLSS, Nvidia set out to redefine real-time rendering through an AI-based super resolution, rendering fewer pixels and then using AI to construct sharp, higher resolution images. With our latest 2.0 version of DLSS, we've made big advances towards this vision. Powered by dedicated AI processors on GeForce RTX GPUs called Tensor Cores, DLSS 2.0 is a new and improved deep learning neural network that boosts frame rates while generating beautiful, crisp game images. It gives gamers the performance headroom to maximize ray tracing settings and increase output resolutions. So you have superior image quality, great scaling across all GeForce RTX GPUs and resolutions, one network for all gamers with the original DLSS required training AI network for each new game. DLSS 2.0 trains using non-game specific content, delivering a generalized network that works across games. This means faster game integrations and ultimately more DLSS games. You also have customizable options as well with quality and balance and performance. So it's actually pretty cool. I mean, one of the things that they talked about here is performance mode enabling up to 4 times super resolution. So for example, from 1080p to 4K. This means more user choice and even bigger performance boost. So this type of adaptive AI technology could definitely benefit Nintendo quite a bit, because you're not putting all of the stress and the strain on the GPU and the CPU because of what they're doing with this technology here. So for me, at least, from what I'm seeing here, this could definitely solve a number of issues that people have with Nintendo hardware. Usually, like I said, with the low resolutions or even like with the frame rates not being as good, this could fix that if they build it into the next Switch, which I think that they will, because if you look at it, we are what, halfway into the Switch's life according to Nintendo, and this technology is already being implemented into games right now at this point. Now in 2 or 3 years, when the next Nintendo system comes about, with the GPUs that already have this technology in, I don't think it would be too hard for Nintendo and Nvidia to work together in order to get this in for the next Nintendo Switch, even if it is maybe not in the greatest capacity, but it is put in somewhat. So to me, this would be a home run with Nintendo and Nvidia working together with this technology, and once again proves why it's a good fit for Nintendo to work with Nvidia with this technology here and with what they've already accomplished with the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, the Switch has been selling like crazy. It continues to sell really good. They've gotten the price down to where it's affordable. You have multiple Switches in households at this point, so it makes no sense for Nintendo to really go with anybody else other than Nvidia, especially with this technology here and with the success that they've already had with the Nintendo Switch. But those are my thoughts on this. What do you guys think about this DLSS 2.0 technology, and if it can be in the next Nintendo Switch? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. I want to discuss my most disappointing Nintendo Switch game of all time, and Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, because there's a very interesting dynamic with this game that I've talked about before on my live streams, and I wanted to discuss again. The most disappointing game that I've ever played on my Nintendo Switch, from a pure, I would just say, anticipation standpoint, from what happened with it, is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I mean, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a game that I had so much high hopes for. You know, I'm a huge Koji Igarashi fan. I'm a huge Castlevania fan, Metroidvania fan. And when we got that final product on the Nintendo Switch, after all of their teasing and after all of their pushing of the Switch version and showing, hey, look at, here it is on the Switch and blah, 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 it ended up not being the best version. It ended up not even being anywhere near the best version of the game, even with the added availability of portable play. The inputs were off when it comes down to it. There was crashing, there was freezing, there was latency, the resolution didn't look the best, the graphics didn't look as good as you would think for a 2D Metroidvania game. So it just turned out not to be that great. Now, they got WayForward on the job to help out, and they have. I mean, I booted it up recently and I played it, and it's a bit better than what it was at launch, but it's still not good enough. And this is after years of courting Nintendo fans to, of course, help pay for the development of the game. So did they deliver the product that they said they'd deliver? Yes. I mean, you can still play it. It's playable on Switch. Like, I get that. But at the end of the day, I just still feel that, they didn't really do good enough with it. And they've talked about fixing the game over with WayForward and everything, and updating and roadmaps. And those roadmaps have kind of just fell off. We haven't gotten an update in quite a bit of time. So I'm not sure if they're ever going to go back to that game and actually get it up to 60 frames or anywhere near there like it should be running. So it's been a couple of these Kickstarters, right, where we funded, or where Nintendo Switch fans go out there and pay money, and they end up getting a version that's not necessarily the best or not where they said it was going to be, because they're optimizing it for other platforms. It's optimized for the other platforms, and the Switch platform is the secondary. And this Eiyuden Chronicle game, 100 Heroes, kind of just reeks all of that. It seems like Switch is not the priority. Of course, they want people who own a Switch to put their money towards it, which we've seen multiple times before with various different Kickstarter campaigns, is that they want to get Switch owners money because Switch owners tend to support these campaigns a lot, but at the same time, they don't necessarily get the best version they can get because they're optimizing it, or it's the secondary type of console for them from a development standpoint. They're doing PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X. They're optimizing it on there because it's more closely to PC, and they're not prioritizing the Switch version. So the fact that they're saying, well, okay, it might be Switch, but if the next system is out, it's going to be that one. But if nothing happens at all, then we'll just refund your money. That already just seems like, man, they're already just setting up for some type of disappointment. And with multiple platforms, with, you know, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and the PS4 and the Xbox One and the PC, they'll be okay, you know, because it just seems like they weren't asking for a lot of money, but they're putting it on a lot of platforms, right? They wanted, what, $1 million for it to be funded on everything. It was $500,000 originally, then $1 million to be funded on everything. And I think now they're like over $2 million or near that, or whatever the case is, which, once again, that's great and all, but overall that's not great when it comes to making sure that you can get the best version on every single platform. That just doesn't seem like enough to me. So it just kind of reeks of a bloodstained ritual of the night. Heck, Koji Igarashi was in that video that they did in terms of the Kickstarter. So man, I am a little bit worried, not worried like for myself, but worried for people on the Nintendo Switch that are like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy into this, like Suikoden, I love that game, and I'm gonna play it here on my Switch, I'm gonna be able to play it anywhere. Are we going to get a competent version of this game? I'm just not so sure. So based off of what they said here, it's hard for me to really trust them 100%, and I didn't back this Kickstarter, even though I'm a huge fan of the developers, I'm a huge fan of the gameplay style, and I like what they're doing here. I can't back the Kickstarter because they haven't really committed to making sure that there is going to be an amazing Nintendo version of the game. They're saying like multiple options. It's like a, you know, they have like a get out of jail free card with the, oh, well, it'll be on Switch, and oh yeah, we have to recode a bunch of things, and it's a lot of work, but we'll do it maybe. But I mean, if there's a next system, okay, we'll do it on there. But I mean, if we don't do it at all, then you guys will get your money back. It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't feel so good right now. I don't feel so good with it after numerous Kickstarters not living up to what they should be doing on the Nintendo Switch. So for me, I'm going to hold off on these Kickstarters. I'm going to wait for the game to come out. And if there is a competent Switch version, great. I'll pick it up. If there isn't, then I'll just pick it up on Xbox Series X or on PlayStation 5 or PC or whatever the case is. I'm not hating on the game itself. I mean, I'm still thinking that it's going to be a solid game, just like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is not a bad game. I have it on PC and Xbox One, but I still would have liked to actually have a competent version on the Switch as well, so I can play that portably. And you know, this game, this Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, look great. Looks like a really cool game to play anywhere that you want. So we'll see how it turns out, though. Just buyers beware on this one, guys. We'll have to wait and see exactly how it turns out for Nintendo fans. But I think the game overall should be pretty good. So what are you guys' thoughts on the topics that we discussed here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.